Hey, welcome back to another episode of Hers and Hers podcast. I'm Tay, and this is Nick, and we here, and we about to start talking about stuff like we always do.
What we on we're episode 4.
No.
Episode 5.
5.
Episode
right?
5. Jesus.
It doesn't even matter because we gonna keep going.
Yeah, we're episode 4, babe.
We gonna keep going.
This has been good. Like, I love this. This level of consistency is really giving me life. If only I could commit to the gym like this.
I'm fucking crying.
Never that. Never. Mind.
Maybe we should start like working out like while we're on air. I feel like we could sell that.
We could actually make a lot of money if we were to work out. We got afros. We got good shapes. We got good personalities. We would probably make enough money to
make a killing.
We would probably get a townhouse. Actually, a house.
Yeah, like
no
honestly. But you guys know how we do. We always start off with our new segment, Ask Hers and Hers. This is something we just started doing. And you guys always are sending in questions to ask us, and someone sent in one today, so we are going to answer it live on air. And if you want to ask us a question or tell us a story or get some advice for us on something that's already happened, make sure you visit the link in our bio, Ask Hers and Hers. That's me and Nick, and we will answer your questions live on air anonymously.
Please send us questions because we actually genuinely enjoy this segment, and it's actually really fun for us, and we love giving unsolicited advice.
And we're about to start bullying y'all. Like, if y'all don't start sending in questions more frequently, because like we're literally having like 100 people listen to an episode, but we're only getting like 2 questions. Like, it's no way. Like, I live in America too. I know y'all niggas have a story to tell.
I know
y'all have a story to tell. Even if y'all don't want to ask us something, even if you just want to tell us something, you know, go to the Ask Hers and Hers. And
I know y'all are messy as hell too, because y'all enjoy us. So
tell us some fucking tea. Like, you don't even have to ask us a question. Literally, just tell us some tea, and we'll tell you our thoughts on it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It'd be that simple. Bada bop, bada boom. But today's question, I love the way they frame this. Look at this question for the lovely host. Thanks. We are lovely. How do you possibly maintain a smile even at the hardest times when you feel like you are at your breaking point?
I don't. I cry every single day. And I think that is my maintenance of maintaining my smile. Because like, I feel like if I cry, that's like my release. And then I'm able to start smiling again. And I don't stay low for like very long. Like, and I know like that might not be everyone else's experience, but like, that's definitely like, that's my experience. Like, I don't typically stay low for long because like I know that there's really no benefit to me doing that. I think like when I was younger, I probably did that a lot when I was a child, but like I actually don't have time to be low now that I'm an adult, so I'd rather just cry for 10 minutes rather than like try to hold it in and like maintain and like find a resolution and spend my whole week like stressing over something. I'd rather just like cry for 10 minutes and then just like move on, honestly.
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, my schedule is too busy for me to cry or really be sad. Also, who gives a fuck if I'm sad? So that's really my driving force to not be negative. Nobody really cares. You got to sift through it by yourself. When you find time to emotionally process, then do that. But you kind of gotta move at your pace, like your natural pace and stuff. So I think it's best to feel things when you feel them and not to really like sit. But me, I like to intellectualize my emotions. So I really will give myself like a shift to really feel my emotions. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm obviously this might hurt, or this is obviously a little bit more tender than the rest of whatever I'm dealing with. So I'm just going to pace myself and like kind of work through that stuff until I feel better. So I just feel like I just kind of compartmentalize, like when I do have the capacity for stuff, I sit and I feel. And when I don't, I kind of try to find ways to make myself feel better in the moment. And you're not always going to have a good day. And sometimes those things are sporadic and they do fluctuate. So you just kind of have to just give yourself time.
Yeah, life is not linear. Life is not just like you don't just like get happy and then like stay on happiness.
No, you need to feel that shit when you do though. Because like, you don't want to be chilling a year down the line and somebody smiles at you and you're like, you know, he used to smile at me like that.
Definitely don't suppress your emotions.
Crying, throwing up. Don't suppress your emotions.
And, you know, deal with them and express them in a healthy way. And if you're going to choose to cope with something that is not addictive and could
not
possibly
an inebriant.
ruin
it's not sex.
your entire life. Please don't cope with sex.
This shit don't work.
Sex can become an addiction. If you didn't know, now you're aware.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Fucking is not a good
not healthy, and then you will always associate sex with a release of negativity instead of a positive exchange of energies.
Yeah, so feel that shit out. Even if you're not somebody who likes to physically show emotion, I think it's best to figure out your best outlet. For me, I feel like it's best when I write things down. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those people that like to overshare on the internet. Maybe create a Finsta where you only talk to yourself and Barack Obama or whoever the fuck. And just kind of let all of that shit out on there. And then for me, I like to write stuff down that I'm like, fuck, I sound crazy, or fuck, I feel better. Bop, bop, bop. That's the end of it. So just feel shit as they come. Like, don't sit on your emotions, nigga. Feel that shit.
Yeah, like get a therapist if you have the luxury of getting a therapist. If you can afford that necessity.
Or be like white women and just get a part-time job.
Don't do that. They're not happy people.
Nope. But they get to release on their coworkers,
and that is not healthy either.
It's not, but capitalism.
I'm crying. So today we're talking about a lot of different things. This is kind of like a mashup episode that will probably come together in the end. We did think about it though. I promise you. I swear to God we thought about it.
There's intention,
but I wanted to ask, like, Nick, what's your toxic trait?
I don't know for what, like,
what's your toxic trait, just like in general? Like, okay, what's your toxic trait, and how has it affected your dating life or friendship? Like, you know how people will tweet and they'll be like, my toxic trait is that I just love bananas. I love bananas so much that it turns everyone off around me. You know,
I feel like my toxic, I probably have like 47.
Let's focus on one.
I'm gonna focus on one. I'll give you two, because I feel like these combined kind of like are not good. But I feel like sometimes I can be a little avoidant, whether it be of like my emotions or like other people's emotions. I might avoid like a conversation or avoid saying something to somebody just for like the sake of, like, honestly, it's very selfish, just for the sake of not having to deal with the emotional responsibility of like somebody being upset with me. I feel like secondly, like, I feel like I over communicate so people don't see where I under communicate, if that makes sense.
Man, it makes it so much more obvious. I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
Just for self-awareness.
Oh, I know.
As
I just
a friend, it definitely makes it so much more
I'll
obvious.
let you know everything I have going on just so I don't have to tell you what I have going on. So you don't ask me questions.
Yeah, a lot of times when you tell me the most, I'm usually like, there's something missing here.
Yeah.
So just for the future, if you're trying to do that, which, I don't think it's positive, just don't say anything.
Which is usually what I do. I either won't say anything or I'll be like, let me just tell niggas everything that I have going on so they don't really ask what I actually have going on. But I've been doing that since I was a little kid because I don't know. I just have this, I don't know. My toxic traits stem from, of course, childhood traumas and shit like that.
Yeah, like most of ours.
But to me, if you date niggas who are like negligent, and I have no shade to me or whatever, but I have a history of dating niggas who just be in and out, like, not mentally
negligent.
But like if you date niggas or just date people, or if you're around people who are emotionally negligent, you'll find ways to cut out things that matter to you for the sake of somebody else not showing value in things that matter to you. So instead of me having to deal,
because you don't want to bug them or
so instead of me having
so
instead of me having to deal with the emotional fallout of somebody saying something weird about how I might feel or what I'm dealing with, I would just prefer you not to know anything that I have going on until I'm near death. Which is probably terrible, but she asked for my toxic traits, not my good ones. Fuck it. Like, all right, back to Taylor.
Yeah, my toxic trait is I also have many. Oh man, this is hard. Yeah, I thought about this before I got here. I guess not. I think that my toxic trait, I was going to say that I love too hard. That's not true.
Whenever a nigga say that, I know I'm about to have the worst year of my life.
Yeah, it's not true.
I love too hard.
I think that my toxic trait is that I think I look for validation in like the wrong places. I think I have just like a tendency, like I always feel validated within myself, but like everybody loves like outside validation here and there.
It's
and
normal.
I genuinely think that like that's one of my most toxic traits, because like sometimes I just be doing stuff for attention, just out of control, like activity, just for a little inch of attention. Like literally it doesn't even have to be anything extreme. Like, yeah, that's definitely my toxic trait. I just love attention.
You feel like you have like attention seeking behaviors?
Yeah, I definitely have like attention seeking behaviors, which I don't even need to have because I think I naturally get attention.
Yeah, you definitely get a lot of attention.
I get a lot of attention like without even moving. So like the fact that I'm going out of my way
Tay
to
like I had to double it.
Like, what is up with me? Like, why do I feel like I need to like flip the work? Like, what's up with me?
I don't know. There be sometimes where I'll be like, damn, we already vibing, but Tay be like, oh, we vibing.
I'm gonna be like,
turn up.
It's 6 niggas looking at us. I need every nigga in this room eyes on me. I don't know what's wrong with me. And I talk too goddamn much. That's definitely a toxic trait. Like I do wish that I had like the ability to just like shut the fuck up sometimes. Like even when I'm not talking, like if I'm not talking, I'm fucking tweeting. Like shut up. Be quiet, Taylor. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely I talk too much and I have a lot of attention seeking.
And she loved too hard. So that's 3.
I do not. I definitely don't love too hard. Sometimes I feel like I'm not loving hard enough. I was gonna say that just as a lie. Like, I just felt like it would stick really well.
Niggas love when you say that because that means you don't have boundaries.
Oh my God, that's sick.
Yeah.
That is so sick.
That's
like
what niggas be thinking.
No, I mean, they're not wrong. So I'm so sorry, but they're absolutely not wrong.
So another question then. So how do you feel like those like traits like manifest in like friendships and relationships?
Okay, so for relationships, I feel like they manifest in like my partner being irritated because I'm like constantly seeking attention. Like even when it's like even just from them, like I feel like if my partner like gets up, like okay, like Darian will get up to go do something.
That's her boyfriend.
And the second that he gets up, like I'll like try to hold his hand and then he'll try to like walk off to go continue to do what he's doing, and I'll just like squeeze his hand really tight so that he can't move, and he'll look back at me like, this whole time I've been sitting next to you on the couch for an hour. Now you want to hold my hand now that I am getting up to put my attention on something else. And that's not normal. He should be able to not have to give me attention like constantly. Like I know that shit's tiring, but he's hanging in there. So shout out to him. And I think, yeah, it manifests in my relationships. Like I'm an introvert just like in general. So like I'm constantly going out. So I know that probably can cause like insecurities in a relationship for sure. If I'm like, I'm literally just trying to like get a nigga to like buy me a drink at the bar. And it's like, it doesn't matter if it's my boyfriend or not. It's like, it's not like I have any intention beyond getting the drink bought, but I do think like that can be like bothersome to like, men who like live in a patriarchy and believe that buying a drink leads to something. So I absolutely understand how
shout out to all the niggas
be.
that got us drunk and no pussy.
All 100,000 of them. And then I think like in my friendships, it just manifests. I don't know if my toxic traits like manifest in my friendships. I think me just like talking too much, like, cause I feel like I offer a lot of advice that my friends like don't ask for. And like, I don't always think that that's good. Like sometimes I'm like, I wish I would have just listened and not said anything to this bitch. Cause like, first of all, it's not like this bitch gonna listen to me anyway. So I just wasted my breath, and now I'm gonna be salty cause the bitch didn't listen, but I'm like, that bitch didn't ask. And that's why she not listening, so that's really the mostly how it manifests. But I don't think the attention seeking thing affects my friendships, because I'm not the type of person to like step on my friend's toes in any way. Like I am not one of those bitches that like needs attention from like my friends' boyfriends. Like I don't need attention from a nigga that likes my friend or like that my friend like. I don't need that type of shit.
Yeah, I'm like
I don't even want a nigga that fuck with my friend to look at me. The only thing that my friends niggas need to be saying to me is like, if you're not talking to me about my friend, like, or you're not saying anything that I can go back and report to my friend that's positive, like I really don't want you like saying anything to me. You genuinely have to be like the most interesting person in the world for me to even like really care what you have to say, or you have to actually be my friend's partner. Like I feel like if my friend has a partner that they really care about and I see that they're like, you know, having like a positive experience with each other, then I'll open myself up to like getting to know that person and being more friendly with them, you know, in like a more positive way.
I feel like that's how
but outside of that, like niggas is just the hoes. Like I know this is probably reverse misogyny or whatever you passport bros say these days. But yeah, what I'm talking to a nigga that fuck with my friend about?
Nothing. Really.
And you the hoes, like.
Yeah,
we don't have like a relationship outside of you wanting to be my friend, because I'm not giving you any information about my friend so you can use it against her. You got me fucked up. And yeah, I'm not. What do you need to know about me? Mind your business.
Yeah, I'm like most times I'm not really talking to people's boyfriends if I really don't have to.
Yeah,
I talk to Darian, but we only talk about clothes stuff.
Yeah, but that's because like that's my longtime boyfriend. Yeah, like he's not the host.
That's damn near your husband. Like, but I'm like, aside from that, I'm not really talking to people's niggas. I don't really trust the hoes.
Yeah, like I need you to be friends with Darian, because like Darian is like a big part of my life and you're a big part of my life. I need y'all to be friends.
You have to pass 3 security levels as a hoe in order for us to really So just so niggas know, if you're trying to have sex with the ladies that are our friends, you gotta pass 3 security levels.
Yeah, we need you. Yeah, and I'm not gonna name what those security levels are because I don't want to give away my friends.
One of them is Courtney.
I'm crying. Not Courtney is the security.
Courtney is the security level 1.
Nah, seriously though, if Courtney doesn't like you, it's not probably up for you. Like you're cooked.
Your ass is getting cooked.
And if Courtney likes you and you're listening to this, you're welcome. Like,
yeah, you're welcome.
And if you guys don't know, Courtney is my sister and one of our friends, and she just like, you know, she's not fucking with that shit. Okay?
She don't play that shit.
She's not fucking playing with you niggas.
She don't play that shit.
That kind of like reminds me of just like something that I've been noticing a lot lately, and it's so funny. Like most of our topics are from like Twitter. We live there. But
so fucking life. I love Twitter.
Mean girl culture. It's like a problem. It's a huge problem. I've been noticing just like a lot of just like mean spirited.
I think social media has kind of made it worse for some.
I don't know if it made it worse or if it just made it more visible for me.
I think it makes
like I didn't realize how mean people were to like people that they call friends. Like for instance, like there's so many girls trips gone wrong. Why are you even, how are y'all getting to the point of a trip, planning an entire trip and getting to the trip and arguing? Because like I would assume that the arguments would have started during the planning. Y'all wouldn't even made it to the trip, but people are making it to the trip and then fighting on the trip. How's that happening?
To me, that's just, I feel like if you have that's like what's the word I'm looking for? If you have mold on the box and you move to a different house, the mold is gonna fuck.
The mold is coming.
The mold is coming with your ass. And I think that a lot of times, like when people already have like these really like soft, if not like really shitty foundations to their friendships and their relationships. And I think that when you kind of move locations, that really shows you the type of people that you're already dealing with. So it's like, it's difficult. So we all of us
might be sharing space.
Literally, all of us kicking shit in Atlanta. We see each other so much in passing, but suppose we all go to a girls trip when bitches are really have to be piled on top of each other, and we're the only bitches we know in this city. That's when shit get real nasty. Yeah. And then it's like, that's when you start to see people's real personalities. People don't want to pay for an Uber. People getting stingy with the liquor. People getting stingy with the food. Bitches is mad because niggas is looking at you. All types of stuff. And I've only been on one girl trip before, and it was absolute fucking dookie butter. But it's because we already had a shitty foundation of a friendship prior to that. So it's like the trips that I've been on since then have been absolutely amazing. You know why? Because my friends don't fucking suck. And maybe you guys should have better friendship evaluations or conversations prior to that.
I just feel like the foundation, like you said, like you have to be a boundary.
How are you falling out in Miami?
You have to be a boundary setting person. I think to just like avoid mean girl culture in general. Like it ain't no bitch about to bully me for months on end, and I'm still sitting here calling to my friend, going on birthday trips, also, going to dinners. Some people just shit. Don't know That's how not to. Nice.
Some people don't know how to recognize the signs in other women. Yeah. I think that because of the way that we've been, like the same way we talk about how men have been socialized, the way that we as women have been socialized to really be so mean to each other, it becomes like normal. Like I'll be on Twitter and like there'll be girls like going back and forth on Twitter, and the way that like just the banter, I'll be like, there's no way that this girl was your friend or you somebody that you ever were friends with. There's women right now that I fell out with. I will still hug them and speak well on them and not even really say anything. I'll literally be like, we're not in alignment right now, but that doesn't mean that we weren't good for each other at one point in time, regardless of how it went. So it's just like, it's just having that level of respect. I think when you have that level of respect for yourself, it's easier for it to translate to your friendships and your relationships. So it's like, I'm not going to ever treat my friends a certain type of way because I'm just that type of person.
I've noticed too, like even outside of friendships, like mean girl culture just manifesting against like people that like don't know each other.
Literally.
Like I literally saw like, okay, so like, everybody knows there's like mad women empowerment, femme empowerment brands. There's mad brands that like their motto is basically like that they stand up for other women. And like I have often seen like girl bosses or like boss babes or whatever you want to call yourself, whether it's that or not, kind of being mean when people reach out to them asking for assistance or wanting to be a part of what they've built, or like even asking them for advice on like, hey, I'm building something that's very similar. I want to cater towards women as well. Here's my idea. Could you help me build upon it? Or here's a concept that I have. I want to attend your event and maybe learn something from you. And then like the founder of the business will be like, these bitches think they finna eat off me. And I'm like, wait, what?
That's that.
I swear to God, you owned a women's empowerment brand. Are we not empowering other women and femme people? Like, I'm genuinely confused. Like, what are we doing with our empowerment brands if not like dropping gems for each other?
That's the problem. People
or even like I understand that like consulting is like something that you get paid for. Yeah. So I understand if you don't want somebody picking your brain, but like maybe you could be like, hey, you know, I offer a consultation fee if you're willing to pay it. It's $50 an hour. It's $100 an hour. People would actually pay it instead of you immediately jumping to, you think you finna eat off me, you dumb broke bitch. Like you really need to go back to like what?
It's that people have that crab in a barrel mentality, but people don't realize that we were not, the original home of the crab was not inside of a barrel. So y'all need to understand that like the things that we're like the universe that we're used to, there's enough space for all of us to succeed. But because people feel like these like opportunities are so minuscule, they really act like if I put you on, that means there's no space for me.
And also, bitch, I got it out of the mud so that the people coming up behind me don't have to even touch the mud.
That's the point.
They can stand on like clean dirt or something, or like maybe grass. Like it's still gonna be hard, but like at least the bitch not in the fucking mud.
People don't think about that thing. People don't think about the trials and the tribulations that they went through as stepping stones to make paths easier for other people. People see those as like character building traits, character building opportunities to make them harder and harsher. You're never supposed to let your trauma or your experiences harden you to where you are not able to shift your perspective and see and open other opportunities for other people. You're supposed to let your trials and your tribulations give you knowledge so you can better and best help people who come after you. And that's how we got to the point to where we are at right now as black women and black people. But when you bitches get your pennies in a bunch and act like people can't, first of all, somebody would pay a $25, $50, $100 consultation fee.
Yeah.
But it's the attitude and the energy, the condescending tone, just the being pretentious. That is what gatekeeps and holds. Right. That's what holds.
Or you
back.
could even just find a video that you watched on YouTube one time and be like, "Hey, I watched this video, and from there I did a bunch of my own research.
Like
here's the video. Here's the link to the video. Maybe you can do your own research using this resource."
It's to the point to where it's so transactional to where people feel like there's no benefit to helping other people. And that's the thing. You have to, there's a level of like selflessness that comes into being an entrepreneur or coming into being a person who wants to be in a position of leadership. There's a level of selflessness that comes with that. So that means that you have to have the right mindset to know that you are passing knowledge because it's needed and not because it's taking something from you. Because anything that you give to other people with the intention of helping them grow or prosper is not taking from you. It's giving in addition. You're adding stuff to your own value. But that's the thing.
Like if you're okay, for example, if we use this instance, if you're the owner of a brand that empowers women, and every woman that comes to your conference feels empowered when they leave,
you've done something.
You did exactly what you branded yourself to do, and you're more likely to have some sort of retention, and those re-attending guests are probably going to bring more guests. So not only is that retention, that's also growth. So like if you actually come to one of my events and you feel empowered leaving my event, hello, it's working. And then if you go off and start a brand, because you were inspired by mine, you're empowered. That was my goal. I'm happy with that.
And not to be a nerd about this, I think that capitalism has kind of broken us down to a point to where people no longer think about retention, intention, or the actual being genuine with their ideas and their dreams because they're trying to monetize things. So people have a level of irritation and anxiety when it comes to you asking or seeking help because they're like, fuck, like this nigga took 10 minutes of my time. I got 24 hours in a day. I got to make this, and this. Like, I don't have time to really be a good person, or really not even a good person, to really be an asset in my community because I can't afford to. And I feel like once we ease the socioeconomic or just the financial pressure of being an entrepreneur or being a person in like a place of business, then people really would be more open to sharing things. But people are just so fucking fucked up and fried right now because niggas can't afford to give knowledge or whatever that they just don't want to.
Yeah, I genuinely feel like people who don't share are not ever gonna pull themselves up out of like
niggas can't pull themselves up from a bootstrap because niggas is scrambling trying if you always live in survival mode, you're never gonna get out of survival mode. You can't even
be lifted up by a community that is not like how much higher can you go if you're not pouring back down into your community, then your community won't grow.
Niggas
and
don't
continue
know
to lift you up higher and higher and higher.
Niggas nowadays don't know what it's like to really network across, because back in the day, I remember I watched Downtown 81. It's a Basquiat interview. No, it wasn't Downtown 81. It was basically like an interview that they did in the 1980s, and Basquiat was in it, and it was a Fab Five Freddy and a few other artists who was in this documentary, and this was like 1982. And they were talking about how big Basquiat had gotten. And they were like, yo, like, what can you attribute your success to? And they sat this guy down, they interviewed all these people, and they literally were like, he said, I do painting, he does video. He makes sound, she does modeling. So if I needed somebody to model, if he needed somebody to paint, if he needed somebody to do sound, we all swap.
We're just trading favors.
We're literally just trading and bartering favors, and that's literally how each one of these people became a successful person who we literally still talk about in history nowadays. They networked across. Everybody was broke, down bad, under the fucking age of 25, didn't have no money, living in New York City, just riding the rails all day.
I don't think people know how to even make plays.
And that's community. Because that's what the fuck community
you said,
looks like.
Okay, that you have your community of people and you all trade favors. When a corporate entity approaches one of those people, that's when you hire all those people that have been doing free work for you. Like that's your opportunity. Like, okay, this corporate entity comes to me and they tell me like, oh, I have 50K. Everyone that worked for me for free, I'm hiring them on this 50K budget, and I'm going to try to give them their full pay rate. And that's how we like can get each other paid.
But niggas don't think about that type of stuff because we, unfortunately, we've lost a deep sense of community because a lot of people cannot afford to be present the way they used to be.
Yeah, honestly, I just feel like just being a mean girl or like being a person that like, you know, just being a mean girl culture, like it just doesn't help us in any way. It's really just like a extension of pick me culture. Like in my like experience, I honestly just feel like being a mean girl, like what is that for? Is that for the male gaze? Because like you're literally not impressing anybody by being a complete
I think that's
bitch to like people that like
exactly
are a
the
part of the
is.
same community as you.
It's to the point to where I'll see women like bashing other women because of insecurities that men, like not even insecurities, because of flaws that men have highlighted. Like I'll see girls be like, ew, you have stretch marks, or they'll be like, ew, like your ass is flat, your titty, you know, like just certain stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that being online too with this level of hyper visibility, like a lot of women are just kind of like, they don't want it to happen to them, so they're doing it to other women before people get an opportunity to. And they feel like that.
I just feel like you open yourself up for like so much more discourse around your physical appearance when you're talking about other people's physical appearance.
You do, but
like I don't think I've ever been like, I can't name a time that I've ever been attacked on the internet for my physical appearance. And I really think a big part of that, like, okay, obviously, like I'm gonna just go ahead and like, I'm sure many people feel like it's because I'm like pretty and I have long hair and I have light skin, all this stuff. I get it. I understand. That's not what we're fucking talking about right now. I also do not attack people's physical appearance on the internet at all. So like there's no reason for anyone to like attack me back. Like I've never put myself in the position to be attacked. Like oftentimes when I see people like talking shit, like, okay, so the other day I was on Twitter and I saw this girl that was arguing with, I guess, who was her ex-best friend. And I guess her ex-best friend responded to one of her tweets in a way that she didn't like. I think she was like holding her accountable or something. In some way, it was something.
Usually what gets bitches.
It was something really stupid. Like she was basically saying like, oh, well, that wasn't very nice. Like, what an unnecessary comment. And she literally was like, well, it's unnecessary for you to not have any edges. And the girl was like, okay, and it's unnecessary for your teeth to be crooked. And then she was like, oh, well, it's unnecessary for your ends to be that dry. Oh, and it's unnecessary for your eyebrows to be drawn like that. And it's unnecessary. It was just a back and forth. And I was like, what the fuck just happened?
I don't like talking about people's physical appearances like that. I don't know. I'm not
you don't really gain anything. I mean, people have enough terrible internal characteristics.
Now, niggas.
People 100% have enough like bad internal characteristics for me to be talking about external.
What the fuck is a bitch calling me ugly? Don't really do.
I would
nothing.
much rather attack your character.
Yeah. So if a bitch said I'm a piece of shit, I'm a fucking deadbeat, something, all types of shit, that would hurt me.
You'd have to find proof.
But if a bitch called me ugly, I know for a fact that's cap. You're
a liar.
You're fucking lying, but you're a fucking liar. Well, so speaking of that, what would be a good what is something that caused like a friendship breakup for you?
That was like associated with like being a mean girl.
Yeah, like some mean girl shit. I'm thinking about high school type shit.
I mean, honestly, this I don't have friends from high school, so I'm not gonna be able to tell a story from high school.
I mean, damn, nigga,
but like
whatever
these bitches, these grown bitches, they might as well be in high school. Like, I'ma just be honest with you. Like, there's a lot of grown ass women. Weird. There's a lot of GRWMs. Get ready with me, grown women's.
I'm crying. I was like,
there's a lot.
I was like,
I'm just kidding. There's a lot of grown women that, you know, they act like they're in high school. Because I mean, like, college is really just high school again.
It's high school with tequila.
It's just like double high school.
It's high school fireball.
And then like working in like corporate spaces is just like triple high school. If you let it be. And I feel like a lot of people let it be. I will say that a time that I have had to cut a friend off just for being like mean as fuck. Oh man. Oh, there's been so many times. But yeah, I had a friend who felt like none of her she felt like everyone was her friend, but no one could be anyone. If you're her friend, you can't be anyone else's friend either. So it was like one of those situations where like she wants to host all the parties at her house. She wants to like plan all the trips, blah, blah, blah. So in the midst of her like hosting events at her house, I'm meeting other friends and finding out that I have other connections to them outside of her. Like maybe we have like, you know, mutual friends from elementary school, or maybe we have mutual friends from
Tay the type of nigga.
You know, I worked at the same job as your brother 2 years ago. Like I didn't know that was your brother. That's so crazy. Like that type of shit just like happens to me all the time. Like I literally ran into someone last night that like knows my brother and my sister works with his best friend's sister. That's like so just crazy shit. What? How's it? I don't know how that's cute. I'm gonna probably never see those people again. But anyway,
people know each other.
But they don't know me and they don't know my siblings. They just worked with them. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, like it's not like they're like besties. They're just like. It's like, oh, I know your brother because I worked with him one time at this one thing. They're not friends.
I just feel like that's cool.
But yeah, I guess it is cool. But anyway, she doesn't want things like that. This friend didn't want things like that happening on her watch. So like basically she was like, so I cultivated a friendship with the person that I met through her, which was fine because we found out we had like 20 other mutuals. It wasn't just her. I just happened to meet her at your house. This person did not want me to be friends with anyone that she was friends with. But me and this other person actually had a better relationship than she had with either of us. So it was kind of just like, I'm not really fucking with that, so I'm gonna just cut you off so that I can be friends with this other person because they're just adding way more value to my life, and they're also not trying to tell me who I can have a good relationship with or not.
I think that's so
because like what do you gain from us not being friends?
Like the people I've introduced to like my
or what do you lose actually? What do you lose from us being friends?
I think that people have such deep, and as a nigga with abandonment, actually I don't know, no shade to me. But niggas be having deep-seated abandonment issues, and it be fucking up a lot of shit. Like, you people really need to sit down and realize, why are you getting tight in the pants? Because your friend, you brought niggas together
to fellowship,
and niggas was shipping. That's a crime.
And I felt like that was just so mean. Like, that was just so weird and mean. And like the way that she went about it was basically like telling this person like all the bad things that I've done in our friendship collectively
that would have been the rest
to try to like turn them off from being friends with me. But it didn't work. Like the person actually like thought that all of those things I did were funny. So it like made them like me more.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah, but like it was just like a weird mean girl thing where like she didn't lose or gain anything from
bitches think
either side. It was just she just wanted to be in control of some shit. Just super duper weird. What about you? Like what's a friendship scenario where you feel like you had to cut somebody off because they were just like participating in mean girl culture?
I don't know. I have a lot of like stories like that, unfortunately, because I am usually, I'm not going to say I'm necessarily a loner at heart, but I will definitely like be by myself just to kind of like quiet the noise of other people. So like a lot of my formative years were kind of spent alone, and I've had to fill those things out. So I remember I did have like a group of friends, well, one friend in particular who I thought that I guess I have this thing where I think I'm closer to people than I actually am. And I assumed that we were close because we had spent a lot of time together. Like, they would spend time with me. We would hang out all the time, go out to eat. But I always wondered, like, why they never brought me around their other friends. Because I feel like I'm a pretty sociable person, and I really love everybody. Like, I can talk to anybody about anything. I just love meeting new people. Like, I just love being a social person. So they had told me that basically, I guess I acted too ghetto. And I just wasn't, what's the other word they use? They said that my personality was too big, and her other friends didn't think that I was cool enough to hang out with her. And then I was just like, you know what? You're a bitch. And we just stopped hanging out. Because I was just like, to me, at the time, I was really actually having like conflicting thoughts internally, like with myself. Like, is my personality too big? Is that why I can't keep friends? Or, you know, like maybe I am not cool enough. Maybe I don't have enough clout. That's why people don't want to invite me to stuff, blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, I'm so glad that we're not friends anymore. Thank you so much for leaving my life.
I'm crying.
Because the amount of people who have come into my life who really understand me for who I am, and it might not be something that they understand every day, but they're just open to accepting. Like, I really appreciate you you for being my friend? Like, are they really open to accepting the person that I might be? It might not be easily digestible for everybody, but yeah, of course not.
But we over here chewing it.
Yeah, but it's like people
got strong teeth.
Like, people hold space for me, and that's honestly something that I've always wanted. So I, because those people left my life and I cut that person out of my life, I've been able to cultivate healthy like dynamics with people to where I'm actually able to see what healthy friendships look like. And because I wasn't able to do that in my earlier 20s, because I had sifted through so many girls who kind of were like, whether they were insecure or they were upset with me for certain things, it's like, they weren't really communicative about things that kind of like, like things that were upsetting them. So I didn't really know what was going on. And I'm the type of person to where it's like, if I upset you, I'll really be like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'll really be mindful about my behavior going forward. But just like, a
lot of times people just don't even want you to be yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what it's sounding like. People just like.
And I have gotten that a lot, unfortunately. Like, I've had
yourself
a lot of
bothers
friends
them because they don't know who they are.
Yeah. So it's like for somebody to tell me that I wasn't cool enough to hang out with them. And I was just like, that's pretty interesting. But I don't really measure my life on like coolness or clout or anything like that. Like, I genuinely like to be people's friends because I'm drawn to them. And I think
then, like, what's cool?
Exactly. I feel like I'm a pretty cool person. If I'm not cool, I don't really give a fuck about what anybody really thinks. And
people
I think that
just be making stuff up. Honestly, I think people just want to be rude ass, hating ass bitches. Yeah. And that's just what it boils down to. It makes them feel good. It's like a power thing almost, that it kind of feels like. Because like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you gain from if we're cool, if we're kicking it, like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not cool enough. Like, we hang out every day, so you must not be that cool either.
She was basically,
because we're literally together every day.
I'm cool enough for her to hang out with, but I'm not a friend that she would ever invite to special occasions. If it's a birthday dinner, I'm not invited to the birthday dinners. If somebody is having, and it's like, I didn't notice that because I wasn't used to really having like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I didn't think of it as anything bad, but I would talk to my brother. My brother has like been my best friend since he came out the cooch. So I would talk to my younger brother and he'd be like, girl, what the fuck? Or I would talk to like somebody and they'd be like, yeah, I don't think that girl's your friend. And I'd be like, oh, maybe she just, and I'm such one of those people who I don't be knowing.
You always try to figure out why people are treating you the way. You're like, what am I doing to make them treat me like this? Nothing. You're not doing anything. Bitches be fried. And that's just all it boils down to. And me
at like 19 and 20 is like, oh, okay, well, maybe she's just having a bad time. So let me just no, you're a cunt. Fucking bitch. But yeah, I'm trying to think.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I got cool friends really now. Funny. All my friends are nice. They got cool haircuts. They all dress cool. Everybody's funny.
Yeah. We're having a good ass time over here, chilling. Man.
If we do yell at each other, it really is not that much malice. We just go in a different group chat.
Yeah. I'm crying. We have our group chat for the people that we can say crazy shit to.
we have like 47 group chats.
I really do love that for us.
Oh, yeah.
So y'all know what we do. We always have our closing remarks. We always tell you crazy things incels say. So we search through Twitter and we basically find like our own kind of donkey of the day. And like, if you don't know what an incel is, we like to call it a nigcel, but it's an involuntarily celibate nigga. And nigga is not exclusive to men or women. Gender it just neutral. Means someone who participates in Black Twitter. We're usually not finding white tweets because
where would I find a white tweet?
Where would one go to find white side
unless
of Twitter?
I'm trying to make a banana bread.
I think I know where to find the white side of Twitter. Like, there's a few girls from my high school that follow me, and like sometimes they'll be talking about stuff on the timeline. I had to mute them because I was like, what are they talking about? Like, who the fuck is
I appreciate white women because now I know who Mark Ruffalo is.
Who the fuck is that? Like,
that's the man that played Hulk.
Who? Nigga, like, what the fuck?
The Hulk.
Which one? That nigga got like 10 movies,
but not the first two. The most recent Hulk that's in the Avengers, who's in the current Marvel.
Nigga from 13 going on 30.
Yeah, that's Mark Ruffalo.
I be calling him little tiny nigga.
Yes, Mark. He's so cute. I love him. They leave him alone.
Yeah, little tiny Italian man who might be Jewish but might not.
Yeah, he's a very spicy white. I like Mark. Mm-hmm.
Is he spicy?
I think he might be like.
What makes a white spicy? Because like I'm really having a hard time distinguishing like white from spicy white. Because like to me, like you're white.
If you from the side of Italy that make olive oil, That make you a little spicy white.
Like you gotta be able to tan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If you can't tan, you not are spicy white. It's probably no type. Probably no type of seasoning up in there.
But
got it.
Yes, but he's a spicy white for sure. But this tweet that I got for this week is a gender neutral one, of course. So let's start with the base tweet, and then I'm gonna tell you guys the quote tweet. So the base tweet is, a lot of Christians would have treated Jesus himself like the broke ass nigga he was, respectfully. Especially the mega church pastors y'all be eating up, and that's why I don't take them serious. And somebody decided to quote tweet this, and you can actually on Twitter you can actually verify yourself if you have $10.
Yeah, so, it's called Twitter Blue. It's the worst thing. So
you don't really know who's a dumbass or who actually got cleared to be on this.
I mean, realistically, like most people with blue checks were dumbasses before you could buy them. So I don't really know.
Now it's the worstest. But this girl said, "Girl, what? Please be for real, LOL. Jesus was not broke. I don't know where y'all be getting this nonsense from." And I'm like, bitch.
Where did you come up with the voice for the person who believes that Jesus is not broke?
I just assumed that a dumbass person who assumed that Jesus was not broke.
So let's just start here.
He ain't had no money.
Nobody did.
Niggas are trading oil for lard.
Like literally money they wasn't having. Like niggas might be having fish. Like, and that's why I'm saying, that's where I feel like she coming from with saying that Jesus wasn't broke. Cause Jesus can turn water into wine. That's not a broke nigga.
You can't even count a magic nigga as a broke or a rich nigga.
That's
nigga
not
magic.
A broke nigga.
That's fucked
like,
up.
If you can turn water into wine and then you can sell that wine and then you can buy a LLC, you can invest in your first property.
But how you gonna count a metahuman? Was broke. You can't count a metahuman as a nigga that's up. Jesus was, but you be no shade.
Or down.
But Jesus, I guess, was up. He was just humble because he needed to be humble for us. And
he broke the fish into 1,000,000 tiny pieces.
But that show you enough that them niggas ain't have no money or no motion. Why the fuck I gotta turn 2 fish into 40,000 fish fillets? That's fucked up. Nigga ain't bring no bread to come see me.
Fish and bread is like, I can't lie. That's some good eats. Like, I'll eat some fish with bread now.
I'm lining up.
Give me some tomatoes and some cheese and
we lining up to go see Meg Thee Stallion. We outside about 3.5, 4 hours. Like, I'm gonna bring some bread and some fish.
I'm fucking crying. I'm really just stuck on either side because it's like, was Jesus broke or was he having? Like, I really want to know now. Like, so I really want people, was Jesus broke or was Jesus having? Like, I really want to know.
I think Jesus was one of those.
He was born in a manger. I feel like that's some rich nigga shit.
That's some rag to riches type shit.
Like, people, it's white bitches paying to have their babies on farms and shit now. So it's like, I don't know.
I think
that sounds like some having ass shit.
He like one of them niggas that you was seeing that always got good vibes, but he always between jobs. And you just like, why you can't never keep no job, but you not a bad nigga. You just can't work on it.
I'm so sorry, but niggas that can't keep a job, in my opinion, are bad niggas. I am not fucking with people that can't keep a job.
Because what's wrong with you?
Now, if you're choosing not to have a job, that's something totally different. But if you keep getting jobs, getting fired from them or quitting within short time frames.
I'm Jamaican. Just hearing the word fire. I'm looking at you weird. Hearing the word fire stings.
I'm not even Jamaican. I've never been fired.
So it's like,
I have only quit.
If a bitch fired me, we going in the parking lot. I'm gonna fight for this job.
I'm definitely not fighting for a job. If somebody fired me, I would just leave happily. I'll be like, oh, that is up. Unemployment. I'm claiming. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Jesus was not
I've definitely never been fired. I feel like it's really hard to get fired from a job unless it was like on some racist shit or something like that. I don't know. It's very interesting. But was Jesus having or was Jesus broke? What do you think?
I think Jesus was broke. I think we need to stop.
I think everybody might have been broke.
Everybody was broke as fuck, nigga.
Niggas were traveling the world on donkeys, horses. First of all, what was broke back then? Nigga, I feel like rich niggas like had gold and shit. And then everybody else was just like disgustingly poor, dying from dysentery and fucking salmonella. There was no in between. There was no middle class back in the day.
Jesus ain't had no money because your mama keep lying about how your ass got here and your daddy stayed down because he a real nigga.
I know y'all seen Game of Thrones. The Starks were supposed to be the kings and queens of Winterfell.
Jesus ain't had no money.
They were not having. And then there were the people, you know, where the Iron Throne was, Cersei and her fucking her brother and shit, and they little wedlock out of wedlock baby, you know, all that stuff. And they were having. And I think that was just it. Like, you were either poor as hell or you were rich as hell.
Maybe we got to change our perspective of what having necessarily means. Maybe Jesus was having in mind, body, and spirit, and not with tangible physical things. He was having.
Jesus was having the Holy Ghost. Jesus was having the Lamb of God.
Because to be honest, if to give a real bitch response, I would much rather have me a magical nigga than a regular degular king ass nigga.
And Jesus, like, you know, he was definitely having, like, it was one point where he was hanging out with Mary Magdalene. Everybody knows she a hoe. So, like, was he helping her sell pussy?
He probably was taking a little off the top.
Yeah, I don't know, but he was definitely with her, like, a lot. And I was like, and then I'm like, is she tithing? Like, and if she's tithing, like, I mean,
suppose your nigga a magical nigga and he having. I'm turning all these fucking things of water to Hennessy, nigga. We over there. We having a Henny Palooza, nigga. We charging $10 at the fucking door. Now me and my nigga are
crying.
Up. The fuck? Yeah, he having.
He definitely had to be having in some sense. Even if he wasn't having money, he had to be having spiritually, because like 12 niggas like followed him around. And I feel like that's something that only happens with like having ass niggas.
I'm crying. They was, hey, big bro,
yeah, like
Jesus. Hey, big bro.
He was big bro for sure. Like, he was definitely big bro. He had to show them niggas something to make them believe. I don't know.
I think he was having.
I don't know. Jesus was having. If he wasn't having financially, he was having spiritually. It's Jesus. But also, is Jesus?
That's how you know Jesus was black. Because if his ass was white, they would not be debating whether or not his ass was broke.
But also, is Jesus?
She hit the bong before this, y'all.
I didn't. I did not hit the bong. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I just act like this.
Bitch, that is Jesus?
But is Jesus? Anyway. Honestly, y'all, I just appreciate y'all for listening to this nonsense every single week. I hope that y'all learned something from us. Make sure that y'all go and ask us some questions on Ask Hers and Hers, or tell us a story, or give us something, you know, that we can just fucking key about, man. But either way, we hope you tune in next week, and we hope you enjoyed yourselves, because we definitely did. Thank y'all for listening. I'm Tay.
I'm Nick.
This is Hers and Hers podcast.
Follow Smoke Hers Club and Hers and Hers Pod on IG.
Bye.
Is Jesus having?
Jesus, I don't know.
Now I want to know if he's actually rich.